4 seconds ago you were flying. That's it, 4 seconds. That's the distance between the version of your life where you land back on the carrier and eat a terrible cheeseburger and FaceTime your girlfriend and go to sleep, and the version where you're watching your canopy peel away and the ejection seat kicks you in the spine so hard you think your teeth crack, and suddenly you are in the air with no airplane around you. 4 seconds. The missile didn't make a sound you thought it would. In the movies it's a roar, a scream, something dramatic. In real life it was a thunk, like something threw a cinder block at a dumpster. Your FA-18 shuddered, and then the master caution panel lit up like Christmas morning. Every warning at once, and your brain went very quiet and very fast. And the first thought, the actual first thought was, oh, this is real. 200 hours of combat training, simulated ejections, simulated SAM engagements, simulated everything. And the first thing your brain produces when the real version happens is surprise, that reality feels like reality. Anyway, you pulled the handle, the canopy went, the seat fired, and now you are under silk in the dark above a country that does not want you here. The chute opens, the world goes quiet. Not peaceful, the kind of quiet that happens when a very loud thing stops and your ears don't trust it yet. You're guessing altitude because your instruments are attached to a jet that is currently becoming a debris field somewhere northwest. Below you is nothing, black, flat, could be desert, could be farmland, could be a parking lot for all you know. You're 26, you grew up in Pensacola, your dad is a retired chief petty officer who will find out about this incident in approximately 3 hours. When someone from the squadron calls your mom, and your mom will call your dad, and your dad will say something practical and measured, and your girlfriend, Adrian, will see a push notification on her phone that says something about a US aircraft and Iran in the same sentence, and she will know before anyone calls her. You think about Adrian for about half a second, and then you stop, because thinking about people you love while falling out of the sky over hostile territory is how you end up making emotional decisions, and emotional decisions at this stage of the evening are how you die. So training takes over. First thing, the radio. The survival vest has PRC 149. You activate it, you say your call sign, your coordinates, best estimate from your last known position before the missile, and the word Mayday 3 times. You do this clearly and without inflection because the guys listening for you need data, not feelings. Then you wait, the radio crackles, nothing. You try again, nothing. Could be range, could be terrain interference, could be Iranians are jamming your frequency, which, yeah, they probably are. They just shot you down. They know approximately where you're going to land. They're not going to let you phone a friend. You hit the ground hard, desert, scrub brush, rocks. Your right ankle does something it shouldn't, and you feel it, but you don't have time to care about it yet. You gather the chute, a giant white flag that says American pilot landed here, in every wavelength visible to naked eye and also infrared. You gather it and you bury it as fast as you can. And the sand is harder than you expected, and your ankle is making its opinion known more loudly now. You take stock, survival vest, radio, GPS transponder, signal mirror, flares, water purification, first aid, a 9mm Beretta that holds 15 rounds and will do exactly nothing against a vehicle full of IRGC soldiers but makes you feel approximately 4% better about your situation. You check the GPS, it's working. A small mercy. You are about 40 miles east of a mountain range and roughly 160 miles from coast. The coast is where the rescue would come from. 160 miles of desert and mountains and Iranian military and roadblocks and checkpoints and a language you don't speak. It might as well be the moon. You start moving. The first hour is adrenaline. You cover maybe 2 miles on a busted ankle and barely feel it. Direction, west. Logic, the carrier group is in the Gulf. Rescue assets fly from the coast, so coast means life. You stay off anything that looks like a road. You move in the low grounds, wadis, dry river beds give you cover. You're wearing a flight suit that's dark green, which is fine for the ocean and terrible for the desert, but it's dark out, so for now, you're just a shadow. You try radio every 15 minutes, nothing. The GPS transponder is pulsing, which means somewhere, God willing, a satellite is picking up your position and someone on the carrier is looking at a screen with a blinking dot and saying his name and scrambling a rescue package. Or nobody's picking it up, or the Iranians are picking it too. You don't know, keep moving. Second hour, the adrenaline is wearing off and your ankle is now fully in the conversation. It's not broken, you can tell, because you're walking, but it's sprained bad enough that every step on uneven ground sends a jolt up your calf that makes your vision swim. You think about the brief this morning, 12 hours ago, a lifetime. You sat in a ready room on the USS Lincoln. A lieutenant commander walked through the mission package, targets, threat rings, SAM coverage. Iranian air defense are layered. A long-range S-300s, long-range S-300s, medium-range Bavar 373s, short-range stuff everywhere. You were briefed on the threat corridors, you were briefed on the egress routes, you were briefed on what to do if you got hit. Nobody briefed you on what the sand smells like at 3 in the morning when you are alone in Iran with a bad ankle and a dead radio. Funny how that works. They prepare you for every variable except the one that actually matters, which is exactly what it feels like to be completely alone in a place where everyone within 100 miles wants to find you and you want the exact opposite. Third hour, you hear vehicles, east, maybe 2 miles. You drop flat behind a ridge and you wait. Headlight moving along a road and you can't see, but you can feel it on the ground. Diesel engines, heavy trucks, military, they are searching. Your heart rate is doing something medically interesting. You control your breathing, 4 seconds in, hold 4, out 4. Box breathing. They teach you this in Sarah's school, survival, evasion, resistance, escape, and a 3-week course at Warner Springs where they starve you and interrogate you and lock you in a box and you think it's the worst thing that will ever happen to you. It's not the worst thing that will ever happen to you. The worst thing is what's happening right now. Sarah's school was a simulation with an end date. This doesn't have an end date. This has a desert and a search party and 148 miles between you and a helicopter that may or may not be coming. The trucks pass, you wait 10 more minutes, then you move. R5, you are in the mountains now. The terrain is worse. Loose rocks, steep grades, no path, but the cover is better. Rock outcroppings you can tuck under. Elevation that makes vehicle pursuit irrelevant. If they want you up here, they're coming on foot. And on foot, you can hear them coming and you can move. Your ankle is bad. You have wrapped it with the bandage from your first aid kit and you are eating ibuprofen like candy and you're dealing with it because the alternative to dealing with it is sitting still. And sitting still is capture and capture is... Look, you know what capture means. You said to the SAR briefs, you have seen intelligence reports. An American pilot in Iranian custody is the biggest propaganda win they have had in decades. You will be on the state television within hours, you will be paraded, you will be forced to make statements, and that's the optimistic version, the version where you're valuable enough alive. You're not thinking about the pessimistic version, not right now. Right now you're climbing. Dawn is coming, you can feel it in the air. That shift from cold to less cold that happens about 40 minutes before the sun shows up. Dawn is a problem. Dawn means you're visible. Dawn means aircraft. Dawn means search parties can use optics. You need to find a hide site, somewhere to wait out the day and move again at dark. You find a rock overhang that creates a shadow deep enough to sit in. You pull a scrub brush across the opening, you drink half of your water, 1 liter gone, 1 left, and you eat a ration bar that tastes like compressed cardboard. You try the radio, static, you try again, and then something, not a voice, a squelch break, someone keying a mic, which means someone is on your frequency, which means someone is listening. You transmit your call sign, your position from the GPS, you say Mayday, you say it 3 times and your voice cracks, the second one you don't care. Silence, 10 seconds, 15, then a voice, American, distant, buried in static, but American. Copy your position, rescue package inbound, ETA 6 hours, stay hidden, authenticate Delta 7. Delta 7, you know this, today's authentication code. You respond with correct countersign. Authenticated, hang tight, we are coming. 6 hours. You sit back against the rock. 6 hours. You can do 6 hours. You've done worse than 6 hours. You once sat in a deer stand in Alabama for 9 hours in November because your dad said if you moved before he came to get you, you'd walk home. You were 11. You're not going to move now. The day is long, the sun comes up and the desert turns into a kiln. Your hide side has a shade but the air itself is hot in a way that it gets inside your breathing and makes every inhale feel like work. You ration the water, sips, small sip. Your ankle has swollen to the point where you can feel the pulse in it. The ibuprofen is doing its best. You hear helicopters twice, Iranian, searching the valley floor below your position. They don't come up into the mountains. Either they think you are still in the lowlands or they are waiting for ground team. Both options are fine as long as they stay down there. You think about your mom, you think about your dad, you think about Adrian, you think about the cheeseburger you were going to eat on the carrier, and how it was going to be slightly cold in the middle and the bun was going to be stale. and you were going to complain about it. And right now you would sell your car for that cheeseburger. You think about Sam operator who fired the missile, some Iranian kid, probably your age, maybe younger, tracking your jet on a radar screen and pressing a button. You have no idea who he is. You'll never meet, you'll never know each other's name. But his Tuesday night and your Tuesday night collided at the speed of sound, and now one of you is in a hindsight with a busted ankle, and the other one is, what? Going home, eating dinner, telling his buddies he got one? Weird thing to think about. You think about it anyway. R4 of the wait. You hear something, not helicopters, not trucks. Footsteps, boots on rock, close, very close. You stop breathing, Beretta out. 15 rounds, safety off. Voices, Farsi, 2 men, maybe 3. They're above you, on top of the overhang, walking across the rock you're hiding under. If they look over the edge, they will see you. If one of them stops to rest and sits on the lip of the overhang, they will see the scrub brush you pulled across the opening and know instantly that brush doesn't grow like that. If the wind shifts and moves the brush even slightly. 30 seconds, that's how long they're above you. 30 seconds of not breathing and not moving, and holding a pistol and knowing if this goes wrong, it goes wrong very fast and very permanently. They keep walking, the footsteps fade. You wait 5 minutes before you breathe normally. Your hands are shaking, the Beretta is still in your grip. You put the safety on. You notice your jaw is clenched so tight your molars hurt. 2 more hours. The sound a rescue helicopter makes is different from the search helicopters. You know this the way a musician knows a wrong note. The Iranian helicopters were moving fast, sweeping. This one is coming in low and direct, deliberate. You hear it before you see it. Coming from the west, from the coast, from home. You pull the signal mirror, you flash towards the sound. Once, twice, the radio crackles. Same American voice. We have your flash. Popping in 60 seconds, mark your position with smoke. You pull a smoke flare and crack it. Orange smoke rises against the brown rock and the blue sky, and it's the most beautiful thing you have ever seen. The helicopter comes over the ridge. MH-60 Nighthawk, Navy Rescue, 2-door gunners, a PJ, Pararescue hanging out the side. These guys trained for years for exactly this moment. They have a motto, that others may live. You have heard it 100 times. It never meant anything until right now. The PJ drops a litter. You crawl to it because your ankle has definitely quit. He straps you in, hooks the cable, and you go up. Inside the helicopter, the noise is enormous. Rotor wash, engines. The door gunner is scanning the terrain below. The PJ is checking your vitals and asking questions, and you're answering, but you're not really there. You're looking out at the open door at Iran getting smaller below you. You think I was down there. 8 hours ago I was down there, walking on a broken ankle in the dark in a country where nobody knew my name. And now I'm in this helicopter with these Americans who flew into hostile airspace to come get me. You're going to eat that terrible cheeseburger. You're going to FaceTime Adrian and she's going to cry. And you're going to pretend that you're not crying and then give up and just cry. You're going to call your mom. You're going to call your dad and he's going to say something practical and measured. And for once in your life you're going to say, Dad, I love you. And you're not going to feel weird about it. The helicopter banks west, toward the Gulf, toward the carrier, toward the version of your life where you came home. Somewhere below you, an Iranian SAM operator is finishing his shift. He's going home too. He pressed a button, you pulled a handle. 2 guys, same age, same night, same sky. One of you going east, one of you going west. Neither one knowing the other's name. You're going home. You're 26 and you'll never be the same person you were 4 seconds before that missile hit. That guy, the guy who was flying, was going to eat a cheeseburger, who hadn't yet learned what it sounds like when the world changes. The guy is gone. You're the guy who comes after. The one who knows what the sand smells like at the 3 in the morning in a country that wanted to keep him. You're going to be fine. Probably, eventually. But you're going to check the sky for the rest of your life. Not on purpose, not conscious, just a reflex now. A thing your eyes do before the brain decides to. The way a dog that got hit by a car never crosses the same way again. 4 seconds, that's all it took. The carrier is ahead, you can see the deck, you can see the people, you're almost there.